Well, good morning, guys. It's Pastor Andy. Today's February the 25th, and we're going to be looking in Psalm 25 together this morning. Psalm chapter 25 has a lot of interesting verses in it. David wrote this chapter when, in a time in his life when he understood that the journey of life can be very, very difficult. In fact, he starts the very first verse of chapter 25 out by saying, "O Lord, I give my life to you." David knew the journey was going to be tough, but he knew who he could trust. And I hope that that's a prayer that you can pray every day. Lord, I give my life to you today. Anything that you want, I am there for you. Anything you want me to do, I will do. My life is yours. So many times we go through life just living it and going through the day-to-day things without ever being aware of what's going on or the people that are going on around us. And we've got to be conscious of God's unconscious appointments that he brings into our life, those divine appointments that he brings to us, people who need us to talk to him, people who need something from us. They need to hear a word from us. They need to hear from God, and we have the ability to share with them. So David said, Lord, I'm giving my life to you again. Anything that you want, it's yours, God. I surrender it all to you. Then in verse 4, he says, show me the right path, O Lord. Point out the road for me to follow. That's a great prayer for us to pray too. God, would you lead me in a plain path today? Would you show me the steps you want me to take? Lord, again, I want to give my life to you. Show me the direction. Show me the path that I should go. Verse 9 kind of qualifies it. He says he leads the humble in doing right, teaching them his way. Boy, if we're going to have God's leading, if we're going to have God's direction, if we're going to have his guidance, if he's going to show us the path that we're supposed to follow, we're going to have to be humble. Because it has nothing to do with us and everything to do with him. Because he is God and I am not. So we've got to follow his leading. We've got to follow his path. And we have to be humble in doing it, understanding that we can't do it alone because the path of life is difficult. And we must follow his leading in it, or we're going to end up astray and we're going to end up a mess. David finishes this chapter out, verse 15 down to 22, talking about trusting God for the victory. In verse 15, he talks about the dangers. In verse 16, he talks about loneliness. Verse 17, he talks about a broken heart. Verse 18, he talks about regrets. 19 and 20, he talks about fear. 21 and 22, he talks about despair. And in verse 21, he says, may integrity and honesty protect me, for I put my hope in you. David's once again is closing this chapter out saying, God, I put my hope into you. Even though I'm going to face all of these problems, even though all of these things are around me every day, Lord, I know that I'm never alone in my trials, that you've promised that you'd never leave me and never forsake me. You'll always go through them with me. I am putting my hope in you. I hope that encourages you today, and I hope you'll get into this chapter 25, and read it, and you'll see what God has for you. But get into God's Word. Spend some time reading and spend some time talking to him this morning. Spend time every day walking with God, and he'll make sure that you're on the right path. Until tomorrow, God bless you and have a great day.